Thank you so much for joining us. We would like to share with you our 5 easy phases on how to teach your students and your kids how to read. So we would like to share that phase 1 is trying to share with you what reading development will be like for your kids. And phase 1 consists primarily of your child and your students being able to distinguish sounds in between words. So listening is fundamental in phase 1. So in phase 1, the reason why listening is so important, so remember I mentioned earlier where children are just starting to distinguish the sounds in between words, and this phase is what we call the start of formal education for students. So if they don't master listening sounds now, they would struggle a fair bit in terms of learning phonics in stages 2 to 5. So now in phase 1 we will have what we call 7 aspects. We will go through each and every aspect later on, but today we'll just introduce to you the 7 aspects, which consists of environmental sounds, so what you hear everywhere around you, instrumental sounds, body percussions, rhythm and rhyme, alliterations, voice sounds, oral, blending, and segmenting. Now you don't have to go through all these aspects individually, but it's important that you expose your child to as many of these sounds as possible so that they are actively listening. So in phase 1, environmental sounds is what your child or you would hear everywhere around you. Now you can amp that up by creating really fun sort of games or devices where they would hear these sounds. So we would like to introduce some of these gadgets where you fill it up with water or sand so that they would be able to hear sounds like cling clang, ding dong, rustle rustle, or splashy. Again, it's completely up to you what sound your child would require further attention. So this is a way to introduce environmental sounds. Now phase 2 would be instrumental sounds. It could be formal or non-musical, such as pots and pans. So get them sort of interested in listening to different kinds of sounds produced by different objects. It could be musical or non-musical. Now in phase 3, aspect 3 is what we call body percussion, where you use your body to produce sounds. And I'm sure you're already doing that in your classes, but this is to formally share with you. This is a technique to introduce sounds where your child is actively listening. So for example, you can produce sounds with your very own hand. For example, clap, you have your snap, as well as tap. So I'm sure you're gonna have fun introducing these type of body percussion, and feel free to explore with your child. Aspect 3 is where your kid would find rhythm and rhyme. I'm sure you're already doing that with stories that are repetitive, such as the gingerbread man. So they would produce sounds such as hand, dog, duck, cat, and so forth. So reading is important in this sense, or them being able to identify the words or the sound of these visuals. So that's aspect 4, which is rhythm and rhyme. Now coming into aspect 5 is alliteration. So production of sounds with your tongue. Okay. So for example, can you find the sad sun? Can you help me with that? Or can you find the silver spotty snake in a visual? So again, you don't have to specifically find visuals from books. You could also use your surrounding. Aspect 5 is voice sounds, and these are sounds that you can very much produce with your own voices. If you look at the pictures here, sounds that you produce when you are happy or sad, or even sounds that you would presume an animal would produce. For example, your s, for snake. And the final aspect for phase 1 is the beginning of remembering how sounds fit in and how these sounds make up words. So this is what we call oral blending and segmenting. So you can practice with your child or your student, sound out these words. You can count the letter sounds in a word, for example, k, t, cat. And of course, listen to more stories or clap these out in syllable, like C-A-T. So these are just the aspects for phase 1 of reading. All right, so I'm going to invite Kwan back with us. So we're going to say goodbye and thank you so much for joining us for phase 1.
I hope you enjoyed that short presentation. Look forward to more videos where we will share more, and we will also introduce to you how you can work with children on the various aspects. Bye!
Bye!